Hello again and welcome to another episode of the TryPod, and this week we shall preview round 23.
Lego.
Lego! We are back, and we've got another monster show for you guys this week. Obviously, we will have a bit of a chat about Jarryd Hayne, who made his NFL debut during the week. Jacob's got an absolutely guffed, terrible, horrible story for us, and then obviously we will give you a mountain more of best bets to win this week. How you doing?
That's right. Yeah, I mean, and we are the men, really. Like, let's be honest here. We, as most of our listeners know, and if you don't know, every single week we give out best bets.
Yep.
You know, what we're doing isn't easy to do. We've won money 10 of the last 11 rounds in the NRL.
Correct.
Just seeing the ball really well. We give out only 50-50 line bets, so only when we can find the odds of $1.90 or better on our plays.
Yep.
And our record's something like 116 to 66.
Something like that. Yeah, it's
so
just
you're
outrageous.
You're nearly up $5,000 if you started with $100.
Correct.
Which is really exciting. We've got heaps more best bets.
Yeah, massive
for everyone
show in
today.
store
Yeah,
today.
like you said, we know a little bit about American football. You played 4 seasons at Boise State yourself.
Correct.
So you guys will be interested to hear our take on Jarryd Hayne. We'll get to that.
Yep.
But first,
We got to give the people.
What do we give them, though?
Give the people what they want.
I think you're getting worse at that.
Yeah, I think so.
Every week.
Actually, had a chat to my boss a few weeks ago. He started listening to the pod, big fan, and he said I should just stop singing altogether.
Oh yeah,
He
I
said
don't
it's
know.
just horrible.
When we started the pod, I thought like this could be an awesome platform for me to like launch a solo singing career.
Yeah.
It's always been a bit of an aspiration of mine. So I don't know, maybe like in future weeks I could do.
You should do
the
it.
heavy
Maybe.
lifting on that
Yeah.
one.
Maybe you should.
Yeah. That's cool.
I've never had a good singing voice.
No, that's alright.
Never really had a talent.
Well,
of
the thing
any
is-
sort.
I respect that you can appreciate that.
Mm.
Like,
No, you got to know your weaknesses.
absolutely. And speaking of weaknesses,
Yep.
well, mate,
You have an absolutely horrendous story for us.
look, I spoke to people on the pod, and you know, this isn't a fun story for me to tell. I don't want to have to be the one to tell people.
You
but
got to give them what they want.
people want to hear this kind of stuff. I think people, when they hear about how terrible our lives are, it makes people feel better about their own
Definitely,
life.
it's like listening to the pod is not only makes you money, but also gives you a slight little
And, you know,
self-esteem boost.
We do genuinely know a lot about sports betting. We can really help people out. But
There's something that you don't know as much
yeah,
about.
something we absolutely don't know about, but you can learn from our mistakes as women. And I spoke about obviously my encounter a few weeks ago. Had Nesquik and Chill.
Yes.
With like a really promising free agent. You know, I'm talking Cherry Evans caliber, which is not
No, you
something
don't
I'm used
often
to.
run
No.
into women of
Yeah,
cherry.
but as I say,
caliber.
even a blind squirrel finds a nut from time to time.
That's true.
But
But you've been let down by this lady before.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, it actually went really well, and you know, I was really keen to try and get another meeting in. You know.
Because you had her over at your house.
Yeah, exactly, and
Yeah.
that's that's not bad. That's a decent step.
Just for all
in
the
right
other,
direction.
just for all the other ladies out there that might be interested in sack of my good
no.
friend, just
I'm
tell
sure-
them
I'm
about
sure there's a lot.
Just tell them about the platter that you put on for lunch. Sounds
Nah,
delicious.
I mean, no, I don't want to give away all my trade secrets. We'll
Alright.
get to that later. But with the messaging had kind of gone cold. Like I sent her a message saying, "Did you want to meet up?" And she originally seemed to be given positive vibes, but then there was no reply.
Yeah.
And then so I sent a follow-up message a few days later, you know, like the double text, which I don't like doing, the double text.
No.
But, you know, sometimes they've just missed your message, so double texting.
Have they though?
Well, you've got to have some belief.
Yeah, true.
But I draw the line at triple texting. I will not triple text. I'm not
Yep.
desperate. And, you know, as you said, like this girl had stood me up one time before, then hadn't replied to 2 messages in a row.
Yep.
And you know me, I'm a proud man. Like, if I get let down by someone, if you stuff your chance up with me, that's it. Like,
Yep.
I'm never gonna be one to go back or, you know,
Sounds-
give anyone a second chance. Because,
Yep.
like, you get one shot with me, that's all you get, you know.
Sure,
Right?
of course.
Yeah.
Of course. As
But
we've learnt
this,
along
but
the
this,
way.
this was a special case, and I thought, I spoke to you about it, spoke to you and Ken's and said, this is my predicament. Like, she hasn't replied at all. Maybe she lost her phone, you know. There's lots of things. You got to give people the benefit of the
Because
doubt.
you were
too.
batting well above your average in your opinion.
That's fair to say. So, look, desperate times call for desperate measures. When you
Oh no.
when you leave a man no options, you give him no choice.
No.
So on the weekend,
What have you done?
I sent a photo.
Jeez. Oh no!
Just needed a reaction.
Was it one that you found on Google, or was it actually one of your own?
No, it was taken myself.
Oh no. No.
And look, I was pretty nervous. I regretted sending the photo straight away. That was triple texting in my book, which I never do.
Yeah.
And the reply, I got a reply.
Oh, that's good.
Which is,
shock factor.
Nothing. Well, yeah, talk about shock. She actually wrote eek. I think it was like
Double
E.
E-K.
I can't remember if it was triple E even.
Oh my, that is
and then
shock.
Wrote, that's cute.
Cute.
I don't know if that's necessarily what I wanted to hear, but the thing is, got me back in the game.
Yeah, true. Are you back in the game though?
Well, you started talking again, so like.
Right. So it wasn't maximum embarrassment.
No. Do you want me to show you the photo I sent?
Yeah, sure.
And then we got to move on.
Yeah, it's just. Well, yeah. Sometimes you got to throw a Hail Mary play.
Yeah,
when
it was a Hail
else.
Mary. It was 6 tackle, but I was down 6. The game wasn't over, and you're obviously not just going to take the tackle. You've got to, try and make a play, make something happen.
Yeah.
Sent that.
Oh no.
Not proud of myself.
No.
It was an act of desperation.
No.
I'll keep people informed.
Yep.
All right, 5-2 last week.
Big
Another
week.
awesome round. Let's get into round 24, mate. Can't believe there's only 3 rounds left.
Let's kick
in
it
the
off.
season.
Do we want to talk about the Hayne train just quickly?
Well, let's save that for halfway through.
Save it for halfway through.
Yeah.
Leave a little bit to be desired. All right, so up on another up on another Thursday night game, we got the Dragons hosting the Panthers. This line sitting at about 5.5 to 6 points with Dragons favourite, and the total a low 36.5 to 38.
Don't have too much to say about this game. Yeah, I do think it will be low scoring. Quite a strong Dragons side that's coming out on the park, but you still can't quite go against Penrith. They moved Tyrone Peachey into 5'8" last week and actually played quite well against the Warriors. But then again, that's only the Warriors. So don't know what to make of this Penrith side. I suspect they're keeping Moylan out for the rest of the year. No real point bringing him back. And I was waiting for Moylan to come back to make this team a side I wanted to bet on. I got no plays on that game.
Yeah, if anything, I'm leaning towards the Panthers, but this line looks like it's sitting right about there, and the Panthers are essentially out of the hunt for the 8 now. But the Dragons are sort of still well within the cusp, well within striking distance. But even so, I'm not laying a converted try with the Dragons. Let's move on. Rabbits.
Thursday night game, wasn't it? Though?
Yes. Yeah. Thursday night game.
Well, just one more point on the Dragons. Obviously, they cost us our only 2 losing best bets last week against the Broncos. Who would have known that playing a front row at halfback doesn't help your attack? They had, at one point in that game, they had 39 tackles inside the Broncos 20.
Yep. That
yielded 0 tries. Meanwhile, Broncos had 13 tackles in the Dragons 20 for 6 tries.
Yep.
I mean, they were in the game. It really was, much closer than the score showed, but they just had absolutely no execution.
No. And plus, you've got to give some credit to the Broncos defense.
Absolutely.
They've had some great goal line defense this year.
They did aim up.
Next up, could be the match of the round. We got the Rabbits hosting the Bulldogs. This line sitting Bulldogs slight favourites at about 1 to 1.5 points, and the total sitting at 40.5 to 42.
Yeah, 2 genuine contenders. It's going to be a ripper of a game. It's going to be really close, as the line and the total suggest.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Rabbits missing Isaac Luke, missing Luke Keary.
Correct.
A couple of key playmakers there. The Dogs are missing Josh Reynolds, as they have been for the last few weeks. So both teams, not quite at the peak of their powers, but still more than capable. I can see either team winning this game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a best bet.
I do. I've got one. I think this is going to be another grinded out affair. 2 top 5 teams, in my opinion.
Yep.
The Bulldogs probably sitting not quite where they should on the ladder. But this total's too high. Usually when we have games like this, and we've bet on these similar type games, Roosters, Dogs, Rabbits, Roosters, that kind of thing, and usually the total sits around that 36.5 sort of mark, which is the lower end of the spectrum.
Yep.
But this one's sitting far too high for my liking. It's 40.5, and you can find 42s out there. But I actually like the, you can find under 7 tries for the match total. And I think this is just going to be an absolute arm wrestle. I don't see this going over 7 tries, and only 8 tries sinks you.
Yep. No, I think actually that sounds like a really good call. In fact, especially when you do have attacking weapons out. But you just got me thinking, 42 is 7 times 6. That would be if they kicked every conversion.
Correct.
So wouldn't we rather play under 42 than under 7 tries?
I
suppose it's touch and go.
The thing is, in a tight game, I think there's going to be possibility for more penalties, that sort of thing.
And 2 absolutely the best kickers in the comp in Reynolds
that's the
and
thing.
Hodgkinson.
Yeah, that's the thing.
No, I'm with you there. Let's play under 7 tries.
Perfect. Sounds good. Moving on, we've got the Sharks hosting the Tigers. This line sitting at 8.5 points. Sharks are favoured. with the total sitting at 42.5, 43.5.
Bloody Sharkies cost us our multi on Monday night.
Yeah, they did.
And, you know, some people are saying, well, you should have cashed out. But, of course, when you have the decision to cash out or not, you don't know the outcome. And you gotta play it smart and play the percentages.
And to be perfectly honest, in no scenario were we going to cash out. If we were going to do anything, we would have bet on the Storm.
Yeah, because we're playing promotions, we say you've got to. The best way to make money is to take advantage of promotions. And Sportsbet has the promotion of if you lose 1 out of 5 legs, money back on your multi. Yep. Obviously, we'd already won our first 4, so we were guaranteed $100 back. And the cash out was value was $400. So I mean, you had a choice to win nearly $800, or to get paid at an extra $300, and
yep.
essentially a coin flip game. And actually, the Sharks were home favourites.
Yep.
So we rode the favourites. It wasn't to be, and that's why the Sharks weren't a best bet for us.
Yep.
I've got my doubts about them without the Fafiters. They need those two back in the team. They'll be fine. They're going to be a tough out for anyone in the finals.
Oh yeah.
But the Storm are just a very well drilled clinical side. So sorry, that was what happened. That's what happened on Monday night.
Yeah, and like we said, we've been putting on an AFL multi and an NRL multi for the last 8 weeks now, I think.
Yep.
And we've never not gotten our money back.
Yeah, exactly. Which is pretty impressive.
We've gotten our money back or won
money
every
or
single week.
got money back every week. So here we are with the Sharks backing up after a disappointing Monday night on a Saturday. Pretty strong Sharkies side, other than the Fafita's still out, as I said before. But, this is actually the strongest side the Tigers have put on the field all season.
Yes.
We've finally got everyone healthy, and you can get Tigers plus 10. Tigers the only side I can look in this game. I like the Sharks. I think they bounce back, but the Tigers had a disappointing result last weekend.
They did.
And I think they're going to bounce back. I think it's going to be a really good game, like a sneaky good game. What I'm going to suggest here, I've got a couple of best bet suggestions, and I'm going to say don't bet it yet, just wait, because Aaron Woods, in my opinion, is the best front rower in the comp. He went off with a knee injury last week. Now, when I read the injury report, it says he's out indefinitely, but he was named. So it's one of those funny ones that you hate. I feel like if you bet on the Tigers, then it'll come out that Aaron Woods is out.
Of course.
And that's going to make a big difference.
We had the same thing when Tedesco was, wearing a moon boot, and we didn't bet it. And then he ended up playing, and they ended up covering and winning outright.
As much as we've had awesome results, and our results speak for themselves, over 60%, nearly 65% on 50-50s, we've had a really unlucky season with that kind of stuff.
I agree.
So look, Aaron Woods, that is a deal breaker for me. If he's out, I probably don't like the side. So look, I'm going to say we'll let you know later in the week if we take Tigers plus 10 or whatever the highest line is on the Tigers. Also, it's a really high total, as a lot of the Tigers games are. And Sharkies aren't a great attacking side. You can get the Sharks under 5 tries. I think that's a hell of a bet as well.
Oh, definitely.
And I actually suggest play that one now. It's a good line. And even if Aaron Woods doesn't end up playing, I feel like it's still going to be a grind of a match. Although you just got more concerns that the Sharks forward pack could dominate. What do you reckon? Yeah,
I agree. And the Sharkies do struggle to put on points, as we saw last weekend. They just looked in a shambles. So, I mean, having to score 6 tries to sink your bet there, I'm happy to fly with that one.
Yeah, we'll probably roll with that one, and we'll confirm later in the week.
Yeah, we'll confirm
depending on the Aaron Woods news.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll keep you updated on that one. Next up, we got the Warriors hosting the Cowboys. This line's sitting at around 14 or 13.5, 14. Obviously, the Cows' favourites, and the total sitting at 41.5 to 42.5.
Yeah, and I saw a bit of money actually came for the Warriors today, and that line's come down to as low as 12. Not exactly sure what that's about, but it did get me thinking. That is the highest line for a Warriors home game that I can ever remember. The Warriors have never been 14-point home underdogs in any time I can remember betting. So you kind of think...
And you've been betting for a while.
Well, that's true. That's a lot of points for a home Warriors team that does always lift at Mount Smart. But, I can so easily see the Cows just rolling them here. The Cows off 2 losses in a row. They're full strength, albeit Matt Scott's got a bit of a busted shoulder, and JT looks a little bit worn out. Yeah,
but let's get real here. The Cowboys are still very much in contention for the minor premiership.
In fact, wouldn't they be the favourites at this point? I expect them to win out.
Slight favourites at the moment. They've got a fairly easy run home. They're expected to win each of their last 3 games. And then obviously they're battling it out with the Broncos and the Roosters, who will play each other this week.
Yeah.
But the Cows are going to want to improve that goal difference as well, that points differential as well.
Yeah. No, look, I don't have a play on the game. We should say, 3 rounds to go. You really can, and you really need to understand the permutations of the results and the finals implications, top 4 implications, top 2 minor premiership. It's there to be won for the Cows. I expect them to win their final 3 games, and I think Brisbane will drop one, and the Cows should actually get the minor premiership. You got to factor that in. Whereas motivation for the Warriors, other than putting in a good performance at home, I think they know that their top 8 chances are gone. They're shot, and I think they know that they can't make noise without Johnson anyway.
They knew that weeks ago when Johnson went off.
Yeah, so you could easily see the Cowboys rolling here, but at the same time, you can't lay that many points against the home Warriors.
Yeah, you got to look as well. You may think, 13.5, 14 points seems like a lot. But when you've got a team chasing a minor premiership that has every incentive to pile a shit ton of points on the board, then you got to be extra careful.
Yep, absolutely.
So that will wrap up the first 4 games, as Heathy never does. But first, what are we doing?
Well, let's hear from our sponsor, F-Sanity.
Summer bodies are made in the winter. Find F-Sanity on Instagram today. Train F-Sane or stay the same.
And seeing as we just wrapped up the Cowboys game, and we've already spoken about Bunnies Dogs, just wanted to make one more point.
Sure.
Not only did we go 5-2 last week, but geez, we had some great calls for you. I mean, if you remember, if only we could dive back into the archives nice and easily, we both said that we think the Bunnies will win outright on Thursday night. That was paying around $3.
Correct.
We said we're tipping the Bunnies. Honestly believe that was a good bet. And did I not say that the Tigers should be on upset alert for the Knights?
Correct.
And no one else was believing in the Knights. That line was only going up.
Of course,
and the
some
Knights,
good upsets lately.
The Knights were down 10-0, and they were down, I think, 16-4, 16-6 after 15 minutes. They came back and won that game too. And so, and we even suggested put a bit of money on the straight-up price at $3.
Yep.
So just a bit of a pat on the back for us there.
Oh, definitely. We've called a few. We've been very good on the Thursday and Friday night upset alert.
Definitely. Now,
Bulldogs, Broncos.
4 more games to go. We've already given out a few best bets, but look, we've got to talk about the topic that is definitely the hot take at the moment.
Yeah, righto, Fox Sports.
Well, the thing is, every single day there's a new article from Fox Sports about Jarryd Hayne, and every single time there's about 5 comments on there, like sarcastic comments, like, thanks, I don't know what I could have done without Jarryd Hayne article. But the thing is, I actually find them interesting to read most of the time.
We like NFL.
Yeah, and I think it's a polarising topic, and it's an interesting topic. It's groundbreaking territory. Did you watch the game on Sunday?
I didn't watch the whole game. I was hungover as all hell. But let me tell you this, when I was over in the States, obviously studying there for 4 years, I would have this argument with countless people about who were better athletes, who took bigger tackles out of rugby league and NFL, and I think it's just good to see, the American public get exposed to, some rugby league players, and by all accounts, they were impressed with what they saw. He was breaking tackles, they're super excited, this guy from Australia, that used to play Australian rules rugby league, as they call it.
Rugby style.
Yeah, rugby style, running over people. But I think it's good. It's good to get that global awareness, and it brings a little bit of attention, to rugby league in Australia from America.
And do you think he'll make it?
Look, possibly. I know they've still got the 90 players that they have to whittle down to about 53, I think. So I mean, he's certainly in the mix. He's getting a lot of media coverage, a lot of, good comments coming from the coaches and the players alike. So look, I really hope that he does get some playing time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they have humongous rosters over there.
I think, and I think at this point, it really doesn't matter if you're an Eels fan, you were a New South Wales fan or Queensland. I think everyone's really pulling for Jarryd Hayne, other than a few haters out there. You've probably heard, if you followed the story, that he's trying to make the 53-man roster, and as you said, they start with about 90 in pre-season. It sounds like a lot of people. It sounds like he should make it, but they've got completely different personnel for their offense, their defense, and their special team unit. And there's 11 players on the field, so straight away there's 33 players basically. And then you've got to have backups for all your key positions. Now, running back is one of the most key positions in the league, where generally the very best athletes play, the player that carries the ball and runs. And most teams will typically have 3 running backs on their roster. He's probably 4th in the depth chart right now. So if he's to make it, my opinion is he does need to be able to prove that he can be versatile and he can help in other areas of the game. He actually fielded kickoffs and punts on the weekend in the preseason game, and he
Which
actually
they think, yeah,
he had a really impressive return in the kickoff game. And you're right, because it's more similar to the skill set he's got of fielding kicks and returning against a line. I think he's slotted in there quite well. Looking at him, when he played rugby league, he was one of the faster players in the NRL. Now you go over to America, where they've got 300 million people. They've got those African American genetics over there. There's guys of his speed. A dime a dozen, to be honest, and he's not one of the fastest running backs, and that's an issue.
Plus, you have to get used to running with all the padding and the helmets and that kind of thing.
So when I look at him, I just try and think, well, what can he bring to the table that they can't get off of 20 other guys that have been playing the game their whole life, that know the playbook a bit better? And honestly, I think his level of strength for the size that he is and mobility is world class. And in his 53-yard run, one of the most impressive things for me was when they caught up to him, and only because he stumbled, he was still able to stiff arm a guy. They talk about how he's got a very high running style compared to traditional running backs, and that's when in rugby league you run a bit more upright because you've always got the ability to pass. But because he's upright, he loves to get a big, strong, fend off, and he genuinely is as big and powerful as any of the other running backs out there, and that's important because you're not always going to get clear space to run in. You've got to be able to get those tough 2 or 3 yards sometimes, which is a first down.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because you got to be hitting holes more so in NFL, because you've got blockers and that sort of thing. So there are little holes that you need to be hitting rather than just running straight into the line in NRL.
That's it.
So they're saying he needs to lower his center of gravity so he can change direction a little bit more when he hits the line.
And the problem
and then
is
just drive through once he gets hit. But it is a different. It's a totally different style.
Yeah, and one of a totally different concept that we don't have in rugby league is the blockers. And that's why it's hard to judge every run. Like, look at his 53-yard run. It was a pretty wide gap that he ran through. Like, could a number of other players have been able to pull off a similar run?
Probably.
Maybe, and a faster player might have got to the end zone. It's really hard to judge because often a measure of how good a team is at running the ball is their offensive line and how good are their blockers. So you've really got to look at what he did with the ball, and he was able to make a guy miss. He skinned a guy, basically barely got a hand on him, and I was really impressed with his stiff arm. But I think what it could come down to is how well can he protect the quarterback in the passing game. So obviously running the ball is less than 50% of what teams do in offense. What the predominant way that teams move the ball is throwing the ball. Okay, now what you'll see is some running backs are really good at judging who's coming through and who's trying to sack the quarterback and being able to protect the quarterback. And if you're not good at that, then when the opposition sees you walk on the field and they know you can't pass protect, then they know your team's running the ball. If they know that, you become predictable and you become obsolete in this league. Right. So that's going to be totally different for him, because there's going to be plays when he's going to be lined up in the backfield beside Colin Kaepernick, who's worth $100 million and is the San Francisco franchise. And he's going to have to read a blitzing linebacker and come through and put his body in between him and Kaepernick, let Kaepernick get off that throw. So can he do that well? Can he pass protect?
Yeah, sure.
I hope so. Pulling for him.
Yeah, definitely.
Can't wait to see what happens.
But it should be interesting. What do we got? Few preseason games, and then the real thing kicks off in about a month or so.
And just one more point. I guess it's awesome that he's making a few highlight reel plays, because if he doesn't make the 53-man roster, maybe he's impressed other scouts, other teams out there. There could be someone else who gets a couple of running back injuries and looks at picking him up. So it's not the be-all and end-all to make the thing is, he's only
going to get better. Because you look who he's competing with. You're competing with guys that are, very, very athletic, that have been playing NFL through high school, 4 years of college, and you're learning all the plays and that sort of thing. Because half of it, probably more than half of it is just learning the playbook.
Yeah,
essentially,
exactly.
That is, that's like the book of, how to anger a girl. Or like, maybe not that, but like things that guys do wrong.
That's a long book.
Yeah, it's a very, very big binder.
Shall we move back into what we know best?
Move back.
Round 24.
Roosters hosting the Broncos. That's probably... this is a great week.
Should be another awesome game.
Roosters laying 4.5 points. The total sitting at 38.5 to 40.
And I'm not sure if I've got a best bet on this game. I'm leaning to the Roosters. I think they win. My opinion on the Roosters is that they are actually still the best team in the comp. I mean, they were down 18-4 against the Eels.
Yes.
And you can say that shows they're vulnerable. That's 3 weeks in a row that they let, their opposition put on 3 straight tries. You look at the Doggies game, where they let them totally back in the game with 28 straight. Then who were they playing? The Knights, and they were up 32-0. That was back to 10. And now it's happened again with the Eels. I don't know. You can take that two ways. You can say that they're vulnerables and they can switch off, and that could cost them a finals game. But I think it just goes to show how ruthless they can be when they need to be. In the final 20 minutes of a game, when it's there to be won, they are
and
a class above.
It is. They just like switch off, it seems, for 20 minutes a game, let the other team back in, but then they just close it out
It's cruel.
well.
It's like they're toying with them.
Yeah,
they're
just
keeping them
too
close,
good.
giving them a sniff.
They're too good, but they are over the salary
That's
cap.
what a lot of girls do with me, actually.
They give you a sniff?
So I don't think I'll have a play on this game, but I hope the Broncos can get a result, and maybe they can. We've got Blake Ferguson and Aiden Guerra at the judiciary tonight.
Gone!
Fighting. Has that already been
Nah, but
called?
they will be.
Yeah, both fighting. I think they're both fighting tripping charges and maybe also a high shot in there.
Wear a shoulder shot, I think.
Yeah, so that could play a big factor too. If those two are out, you probably don't want to lay the points with the Roosters.
No.
But I'm not going to play the Broncos either because I still think they're not quite the same class as the Roosters.
Yeah, I'm looking at this the same sort of way as I'm looking at the Rabbits, Bulldogs. The Roosters, they are a ruthless team, but obviously defensively they are absolute juggernauts. And the Broncos' goal line defence has just been absolutely outstanding the last few weeks. They are, when teams are looking like they're going to score, I know they've been playing some weaker sides, but they'll get over the line, they'll hold them up, and they've been an impossible team to crack in goal line defence. But you can get under 7 tries as the game total. I see this one, 2 very defensively minded teams, with the Roosters, missing a couple of really good attacking weapons. Guerra to get them rolling forward, and obviously Blake Ferguson is a try scoring and try setting up machine there. But I think this, 8 tries sinks you. I think under 7 tries is an outstanding bet.
Actually, I did write down a best bet on this game, and the best one I found was Brisbane under 3.5 tries. And since Brisbane's probably the underdog and less likely to win the game, is that an even better way to go than under 7? Probably similar to
possibly.
style,
What
but
I
it's going
do
to take
think
Brisbane to score 4 tries to sink you there.
That's
and if
right.
Brisbane scores 4, then under 7 tries isn't probably as good of a bet because the Roosters.
Well, I'm happy to do that as well because I think Roosters do win this game, but I also think it's low scoring.
Let's just take Brisbane under 3.5.
Sounds good to me.
Because that Roosters defence is pretty clinical, and
Yes.
I think after conceding 18 to the Eels, 3 lapses in 3 straight weeks, I think really determined effort by the Roosters this week.
Sounds good. No, I'm happy with that. Moving on to the Titans hosting the Raiders. The Titans getting 6 points and the total sitting at a high 45.5.
Geez, I really wanted to play the Titans here. The game was close to pick. You could get a couple of points with the Titans when it opened. But Aiden Caesar did his shoulder again last week, and he's not going to be there. And I just think that halves combo,
They might not score a try.
Hoffman and Mortimer in the halves is just horrendous. The forward pack's quite healthy. Nate Miles is back. I really like Ryan James. Greg Bird's obviously been back for a few weeks, and even Taylor has so much potential. And I love James Roberts in that back line too.
Yep.
But no, with those halves, you just cannot trust the Titans. The Raiders are the better side.
Correct.
But it's too many points to lay with the Raiders on the road as well, so I don't have a best bet there.
No, I don't have one either. Let's move on. That was a shit game. Got the Sea Eagles hosting Para. Sea Eagles laying 20.5 points, with the total sitting 42.5, 43.5.
Yeah, okay, I've definitely got some best bets. I've got some.
Me too.
I'm really happy with a couple of best bets in this game. Looked at the Eels lineup. It's a pretty solid Eels team. I mean, they've had a bit of a luckless season. They don't have the most talented roster. Obviously, they lost Watmo for the year. I think Nathan Peets is out, so it's not a full-strength side.
They'll get some confidence from last week.
Yeah, they absolutely will. I mean, it's got to be brutal the way that they lost, to be up 18-4 and to lose the second half 24-0. But you're right, you can also say that they can draw some belief that they played a really good half of footy. And, it's a team that doesn't have finals aspirations or serious ones. So they're just playing hard every week for their coach and just to try and get better.
Yep.
They're definitely looking to next year, but everyone's trying their best on this team. Now, Will Hopewadi is the only Origin player in that Eels team. He's been out for a few weeks with a hamstring injury.
Yep.
He's been named, but again, the injury report tells me that he may or may not be back this week. So you want to keep your eye out for that. But look, some of these numbers, maybe keep your eye on the Eels line, because I think it's as high as 20.5 right now. I mean, who knows how high that can climb?
Yeah,
if
that's
Will
right.
Hopewadi
No one's
gets
rushing out
scratched,
to bet Para.
yeah, it could go up even further. So we might even let that climb and
Yeah,
grab the
let
highest
that climb.
Eels line we can.
But I would say if sharp money starts coming and you see that line drop into 20, just shop around obviously and grab that 20.
Yeah, and it does make a difference. Just having like a kind of an elite backline player, just gives the other guys around him more confidence and just keeps them in the game.
Definitely.
And look, Manly's a pretty damn good attacking team, probably the best halves combo in the league.
Yep.
But they're not the best defensive team. I think the Eels can score some points here.
Agreed.
That's why I really like the look of Eels. And this is one of the lowest team totals I've seen all year, with a game line of 20.5. And I think the game total sitting at about 42.
Yep.
You can play the Eels over 10. So, you know...
Which is just outrageous, but you do never see lines of 20.5. You know, you hardly ever run across that.
This is the highest opening line of the season. We haven't had one open over 20. So I think the Eels are going to need to score a couple tries to cover in this game. And I think they will. They've got Corey Norman back, you know, and hopefully Will Hapawadi back. So I love
just too low.
Eels over 10, and even if they get 10, you push. So they're going to have to score basically only one try or zero tries to get shut out. And look, Manly isn't good enough to be laying over 20 points. They've still had a few injuries. I know they're getting a couple key forwards back and the back line's gelling, but Manly are not of the elite level of the Power 5 teams, in my opinion. So it's just way too many points for them to be laying. So we're definitely going to take the points with Para and play Para over the team total, right?
Yep, definitely. All right, and I guess you like the Sea Eagles' ability to put on points, but I think if we're hoping for Para to cover, and we're hoping for them to get over that 10 points, I mean you can get Manly under 32.5. What do you think?
Again, you've got an extreme disparity in the team totals here because of such a high line. I think you're right. The good thing about playing the Eagles under 32.5 is that Jamie Lyon's not a great kicker. So that might take 6, it might even take 7 tries to sink that best bet. I'm happy to go with you there and take under 32.5. I mean, as we say,
do often play the ugly teams.
When there are that many points, like that kind of number, you just got to take it automatically.
That's it. Yeah.
Like, what's the perfect number for you?
Perfect.
Yeah. 18?
Yeah, sure. Yep.
20?
Nah.
Don't say 16.
Wasn't going to say that.
What's the next game?
Wasn't going to say that. Storm hosting the Knights. This sitting at around 19.5, 20, and the total 43.5.
And the line, I'm afraid to say, is also at 20.5. Some fans and myself included, we've taken plus 18. I thought it was really smart to grab 18 was too high when the Knights were about to win the game against the Tigers.
But then the worst thing ever happened.
Couldn't have predicted that the Storm would, absolutely thrash the Sharkies by 30 points.
The worst thing ever happened to us because we took 18 as best bet.
Yeah.
But not the worst things happened to you guys because you can still grab 20.5 with the Knights.
Yeah, if you didn't already take on our best bet, we still love the side. And that's the thing. When I said let's take Knights plus 18, I knew that there was a fair chance that the Storm could win on Monday night and look really good. But that was the worst case scenario.
Yep.
Best case scenario was the Sharks roll the Storm and Cooper Cronk gets injured or something.
Yeah,
but
that's it.
Of course, that would never happen.
Yeah, that's right.
When we're concerned. But look, the fact is that's too many points. I think plus 18 is still going to win. Plus 20.5 is definitely going to win.
Yes, if you can get 20.5, definitely take that.
I'm going to go this far as to say the Knights can win this game. They probably won't. They probably don't have the execution. They're missing Jarryd Mullen. But other than that, they're fully healthy.
Yep.
They're playing well for Badiris. They're going to be in this game. I think that's such a good best bet.
Yeah. And losing streak theory as well. I mean, they have lost a hell of a lot on the trot.
Yeah.
And then obviously getting that win last week, I think was only the 3rd win since round 4 or something like that for them.
Probably the 2nd win since,
Yeah.
They won their first 3, and I think that was about,
that was about it.
Since round 3.
Yep.
So look, we've definitely taken the Knights plus the points. Exactly the same as the Eagles game. You've got to take Storm at 32.5.
Yep.
The Knights aren't the best defensive team, but they've got a good forward pack, healthy forward pack that's going to be able to aim up. And I think keep the Storm. And again, Cameron Smith, not the best kicker in the comp.
Very true.
So you might take 7 tries to sink that one.
Definitely. Well, let me tell you else what takes 7 tries to sink you. Storm under 6 tries. When they've got a pretty good kicker.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would argue that Smith's a below average kicker. I'm just thinking now, so 6 tries as opposed to 32.5. Obviously, that's going to take 5 to get to 30 if they convert them all. You've got to factor in penalties as well. I mean, which one do you reckon is better?
Takes a couple of penalties. I think I like the under 6 tries a little bit better, to be honest.
Okay, let's do that. Let's take the Storm under 6 tries.
And then we want to take the Knights over in some way or another, don't we?
What's the What's the lowest Knights team total that you've been able to find?
I've been able to find 11.5, but I've only looked very quickly.
Yeah.
Or you can get, obviously over 2 tries, but we don't know if we want to take that. You'd perhaps rather do the points.
Yeah, no, in fact, you can find 10 on the Knights as well, so that's going to be
the
best way to go there, for the same reason I said with the Eels.
Well, obviously, I've been banned from a few betting agencies, so I don't have them all on my phone, unfortunately.
Well, no, it pays to shop around, and I know it's only a point, here or there, but it can make all the difference.
Yep.
So, look, I think that's another best bet.
Perfect. Happy to do that. We've got a few for you this week, actually.
Yeah.
You want to run through them?
All right, let me see if I can. Just been scribbling here, and, we didn't speak about these best bets before the pod, so
Correct.
we've just had to agree them now for you. We think our first best bet of the week is Dogs and Rabbits to go under 7 tries. That should be good.
I agree. I like that one.
Final style arm wrestle. Take the Sharkies under 5 tries against the Tigers. We want to take the Tigers plus the points. We're just going to wait and see if Aaron Woods is cleared to play. Take the Broncos under 3.5 against 3.5 tries against the Roosters. Definitely take Para plus 20.5. No hurry. See if that gets to 22. If it doesn't, then you want to grab it 20.5 and hope that Will Hopewadi. If Will Hopewadi's playing, it makes it an even better bet. If he's not playing, it's still a good bet, if you ask me. We're taking the Eels over 10 points and the Seagulls under 32.5.
Yes.
So both extreme ends of the spectrum there. Hopefully both teams fall between those 2 values. Then that's 2 more best bet winners. Taking the Knights plus 20.5 if you haven't played it already. If you played it with the pod, you got 18.
Yes.
Last week, but that's unfortunate. But we've given out plenty.
I think it'll still win.
Yeah, and we've given out plenty of early look-ahead lines that have closed like more than 6 points better.
Yeah, that's right.
So you've got to trust.
You take the good with the bad.
Exactly right. Take the Storm under 6 tries, and take the Knights over 10 points.
Excellent. So we've got 9 best bets for you, with a possible 10th, depending on how Aaron Woods pulls up.
Exactly.
So we'll wrap up the round for you. I think it's a good one this week. I mean, we've won 10 rounds out of the last 11.
No, that's it. Yeah, we're factoring everything in. It's been an awesome year. Let's bring it home strong.
Yep, absolutely.
Check out Take on Tom. He's also going strong. Hasn't had a perfect round yet.
But most weeks he's getting
winners.
Most weeks he's getting 2 out of 3, and as he says in his post, he says take them individually as well. And if you would have done that, you would have won money as well.
He knows his stuff on the AFL. We've got a new segment. We've got Pringle's Premier League predictions. This guy is a journo, writes for Liverpool newspapers, and has done a bit of work for the BBC over in England. He's writing a Premier League preview article for us every week and giving us like some bold best bets. So if you're into the EPL, it's just started up. Get involved, check it out, and feel free to ask Pringle any questions.
Oh, definitely, because I'm not going to lie, I'm not an expert on EPL, but I know that we have a lot of listeners out there that have been asking us over and over to break down the EPL.
Yep.
And now we've got a proper expert on board.
Who loves EPL is Evan.
Yes,
and Evan was telling me that it's some of the highest quality writing he's ever read.
And Evan likes his EPL.
No one is a bigger fan of Pringle than Evan, and Evan would know. So if Evan likes it, you guys might like it too.
Definitely.
As we've already given a shout out to Ev Sanity, shout out to our other sponsors, William Hill.
Yep.
We show their best promos every week.
Yep.
They've got 3 different betting sites under them.
Yeah, have a look out for those.
Have a look for links if you haven't signed up. You can get some good offers.
Yep.
Ladbrokes as well. Check out the mega margin in AFL and NRL. You can win $1 million off $1.
Yes.
Definitely worth a lazy dollar on that. Put your tip where your mouth is back this week.
This week.
Nettie is a prodigy.
He is.
He wasn't able to compete and put your tip where your mouth is last week because we had.
But he would have won.
He told me he had Jason Day again, and he won at 13-1.
Yeah, shout out to Jason Day, by the way. Good bloke.
Yeah, he is.
Good bloke. Good win.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, what a legend. Good Aussie battler.
Good Aussie battler. Yeah.
Queenslander.
Yeah. Asian mum. She cut the grass with a knife because they couldn't afford to fix the lawnmower.
Oh, I didn't know what you were going to say there about whose grass she was cutting.
No.
But yeah, and Nettie's just been having good day after good day.
I think he's won like 4 in a row now. Yeah, it's crazy.
He's killing it.
Unprecedented.
I don't know if anyone can stop him, but this week we've got Hughesy and we've got Riley Thomas, who's part of the football fraternity. So I think he'll be giving some EPL bets.
Yeah, I would agree.
And send us your own best bet. Send us your own. We love seeing guys' tickets, multis or singles. or your audacious bets, or your brutal defeats.
Commiserations to Dobbo. He came so awfully close.
Man.
I mean, that one, $25 to win 18,000, 8-leg multi with all anytime try scorers and just one leg failed.
Yep.
That would have been puncher of the week almost.
That's brutal. And he was also just one leg away from winning a $5,000 on Monday night as well.
Yeah, and I mean, Storm scored 5 tries, in which case, if you tell someone you've got an anytime try scorer on Proctor before the game, you say Storm are going to score 5 tries, you've got to like your chances.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Awfully unlucky for you
but,
there, Dobbo.
just massive props to Dobbo. He listens to the pod, he gets the info,
Good bloke.
He mixes it in with a bit of his own expertise, and he gets it done. He drops, boss multis every week.
Yep.
And when you're winning at such a high clip like the pod is, on our 50-50 bets, it gives you a bit of extra, money
Splash
in the
out
bank.
on some crazy multis.
Exactly right. And then you can really hit the big time.
Better odds than playing the lotto.
Exactly. I know some people out there, don't necessarily want to just edge ahead every week and, consistently make a solid amount of money. People want to hit the big time. So if you're getting a bigger profit margin off of our best bets, then you've got a bit more freedom to, be a little bit more audacious.
Yep, absolutely.
So that's exciting as well. I think, look, that's about everything we've got time for.
That's probably it for this week.
Pod.
Yeah, daytime
Better
pod.
get back to it, guys.
Yeah, got to get back to work.
Bachelor tonight. Any thoughts for us before we go?
Bachelor tonight. Oh, geez. Well, do you believe the Heather story? You've obviously read that. Your favourite. You don't want her. You love her.
No.
I think she's a little
I don't want
bitch.
to believe it. Is she
I don't
legit?
like her.
Is she a paid actress?
Yeah, well, have you seen all her ads that she's in?
Yeah,
They're bloody hilarious.
I mean,
I'll tell
just
you
because
that
she's an
much.
actress in the past, that's just because she's really attractive.
She plays like a sex icon on every single ad, but she's not that sexy.
She's kind of sexy. She's got like a girl next door kind of...
Nah, she just looks
Yeah,
plain to me. But yeah, I think she'll be gone pretty soon. But obviously, hit us up on the Bachelor post if you need to ask us anything, our feedback, that sort of thing, or who you think's going to win.
No one's got their finger on the pulse like both when it comes to the Bachelor.
Try my best. So maybe in a couple of weeks' time, I'll break it down again. When we're down to the final 4 or something like that.
In the meantime, have a great weekend, guys. Hit us up, get involved in the pod. Most importantly, please
gamble
responsibly.